When my family and I lived in Calgary, we would often go to Callaway Park in the summer. Callaway Park was the amusement park. It's about 15 minutes outside the city. And the favorite ride of ours to go on was this ride called Timber Falls. And Timber Falls was this splash mountain kind of ride. And on busy summer days, and particularly hot summer days, this ride was incredibly popular. And so to go on this ride, you would have to stand in line for like an endless amount of time. Sometimes often standing in the hot, blazing sun. And the line never moved as quickly as you wanted it to, and it was kind of uncomfortable. You could never sit down, and it was a whole process. And there was always a moment, probably around like the hour mark, hour 15 mark of waiting in this line, where you started to question, is this ride even worth it in the first place? Like, why am I standing in this uncomfortable line that isn't moving just to attend this 5-minute ride or whatever it was? And so you would begin to question whether you should just pack it up and go. And I'll be honest, if it was just me in that line, well, I might have done that. I might have looked at my watch and decided, I got a whole lot of better things to do, and just pack it in, and I'd leave and do other things. But I never did, because I was always with other people. And I was always with people whose joy and excitement and anticipation of the glorious ride to be revealed was so attractive that it spurred me on, that it kept me going. Today is the first Sunday of Advent. Advent breaks upon us. And Advent runs completely counter to the world around us. This world around us is gearing up with frenetic activity. There's a lot of sights, there's a lot of sounds, there's a lot of things that we need to do. We need to buy presents, wrap presents, go hang up the lights, put up the tree, do some baking, go to a concert, have a party, all of this kind of stuff. And it can feel kind of exhausting. But in the midst of all of this activity, Advent calls us to stop. And it calls us to wait. As we have this theme in our readings today, Jesus calls the disciples to kind of have this posture of stillness and watchfulness. In our reading from 1 Corinthians, Paul talks about how we eagerly wait for Jesus to be revealed in our midst. Waiting can feel like a lonely and isolating experience, particularly if we view a time of waiting as something I do just by myself. And like my Timber Falls counterpart, if that's how we see our spiritual lives, just ourselves in the season of waiting just alone, well, we might be tempted just to give it up and go do other things. Which is why the scriptures call us to recognize the importance of the community in which we are gathered, and to have a community with us to support us in our times of waiting, whether it be the season of Advent or whether it be our personal season of waiting in our lives, waiting for Jesus to be revealed in an important and powerful way. The community of others, it bears us up. And their joy and their anticipation and their faith can keep us going when the journey seems long and arduous. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in the church here today, and we want to invite you to join us. Come to St. Paul's Cathedral. We have 2 services this morning. We have one at 8 o'clock in our chapel and one at 10 o'clock here in the sanctuary. But if you're unable to come out today, if you're outside of the Kamloops area, please join us online. We live stream at 10 o'clock on our Facebook page. And wherever you are, particularly if you are going through a season of waiting, may you know that Jesus is with you and that his love surrounds you. God bless you all.